Commander Siakmin Park stood at the huge window of his ship. Outside, thousands of warships floated in space. The ship stretched far beyond what his eyes could see. Each ship was painted in dark gray metal that gleamed under the distant sun. "Sir, the Admiral wants to see you," said Lieutenant Minji Lee. She walked up behind him, her boots making soft sounds on the metal floor. Sok-min nodded. "Tell her I'll be there in 10 minutes. He looked back at the fleet. 25 years ago, humans first met aliens from other worlds. The aliens called themselves the Galactic Federation. They had crystal people, bug-like creatures, and machine. Beings that lived forever. The aliens thought humans were stupid. They called Earth a primitive world. The aliens said humans could only live near Earth. They said humans were too weak to travel far in space. "Commander, park to the bridge," the ship's speakers announced. Sok-min walked through the long hallways of his ship. The Hammer of Sol was one of the biggest human ships ever built. Its walls were thick, its engines were powerful, its weapons could destroy entire cities. On the bridge, Fleet Admiral Hawan Cho stood looking at a big screen. The screen showed thousands of ships. Each ship had a number. Each ship had a captain. Each ship was ready to fight. "Admiral," Siakmin said, giving her a salute. "Siakmin," she said, turning to face him, "are your ships ready?" "Yes, ma'am. All 300 ships in my group are ready." Admiral Cho smiled. It was not a happy smile. It was the smile of someone who had waited a long time for this day. "Do you remember 25 years ago?" she asked. "When the aliens first came to Earth?" Siakmin remembered. He was just a young student then. The aliens came in huge ships. They landed in every major city on Earth. The aliens were tall and strange. They spoke to the Earth leaders. The crystal aliens were see-through and shiny. They thought they were very smart. The bug aliens worked together like ants. They had one queen that controlled them all. The machine aliens looked like metal people. They had been alive for thousands of years. "They told us we could be friends," Siakmin said. "But they treated us like children." "Yes," Admiral Cho said. "They gave us small gifts, old technology. They said we weren't ready for better things. The aliens built trading posts near Earth. They bought some food and art from humans. But they wouldn't let humans travel to their worlds. They said space was too dangerous for humans. What they didn't know," Admiral Cho continued, "was that we were learning. Every gift they gave us, we took apart. We studied it. We made it better." In the ship's war room, Captain Jamin Yoon stood next to a big table. The table showed a map of the galaxy. Red dots marked human ships. Blue dots marked alien worlds. "Captain Yoon," Admiral Cho said as they entered. "Show them the numbers." Jamin pressed a button. The red dots began to move. They spread across, the map like drops of red paint in water. 900,000 ships, he said, all built in secret, all ready to launch. Lieutenant Minji Lee gasped. Even though she worked on weapon systems, she didn't know the full size of the fleet. "How is this possible?" she asked. Admiral Cho walked around the table. 25 years ago, humans lived on just one world. Now we live on 300 worlds. The aliens thought we were mining for gold and rare metals. We were. But we were also building secret shipyards. The aliens never visited human colonies. They thought human space was boring. While aliens weren't looking, humans built factories deep underground. They built shipyards inside asteroids. They trained soldiers in hidden bases. "Every human world has these hidden ships?" Siakmin asked. "More than that," Captain Jamin said. "We've been building them between the stars, in empty space where aliens never go." The room was quiet. Everyone thought about what this meant. Dr. Youngji-oh walked into the room. She studied alien minds and thoughts. Her job was to understand how aliens think. "Doctor," Admiral Cho said, "tell them about the alien chatter." Dr. O activated a large screen. Alien text appeared, translated into human words. "The Galactic Council is worried," she said. "They detect more human activity. They want to put new rules on Earth." One message read, "Human activity increased 40% this year. Recommend observation protocols." Another said, "Humans building too many mining stations. May need intervention." Intervention, Admiral Cho repeated. They want to control us more. They want to make sure we stay weak. Seokmin felt anger rise in his chest. Humans had always been fighters. Their world was dangerous. Storms, earthquakes, wild animals. Humans survived by being smart and tough. The Veltar think we're like pets, Dr. O continued. The Nexi think we're too independent. The Eternals think we live too short to matter. They're wrong, said Colonel Isil Kim, walking in with her sister Hana. Both women commanded ship groups. We may live shorter lives, but we do more with them. The colonel was right. Human ships were different from alien ships. Alien ships were built to last thousands of years. Human ships were built to fight. They had newer engines, better weapons. Stronger shields, sir, said an officer at a computer terminal. All fleet commanders are connected. Admiral Cho pressed a button. Suddenly, the room filled with images of other ships. Each image showed a human captain. Each captain commanded hundreds of ships. Today, Admiral Cho said, the galaxy learns the truth. Humans are not pets. We are not weak. We are not primitive. She paused, looking at each captain. Today we show them what we really are. The captains nodded. Some smiled. Some looked serious. All of them were ready. In engineering, teams checked every system twice. Engines hummed with power. Weapons charged to full strength. Shields activated and tested. Seok-min returned to his ship's bridge. Through the window, he saw other ships doing the same tests. Every ship glowed with soft blue light from their engines. Sir, his communications officer said. Message from Admiral Cho. Put it on screen. Admiral Cho appeared. Behind her, the galaxy map showed red dots everywhere. All ships, she said. This is Fleet Admiral Cho. Launch in 30 minutes. Show them what humans can do. The communication ended. Seok-min sat in his captain's chair. Around him, his crew, worked quickly but calmly. They had trained for this day. In 30 minutes, 900,000 human warships would launch. They would spread across the galaxy faster than the aliens could react. The galaxy would finally see what humans really were. Not pets, not primitives, not toys to be kept in a small corner of space. Warriors, builders, survivors. And now, the galaxy would fear them. The countdown began. Admiral Ha-Win Cho stood on the bridge of the flagship Seoul's Hammer. Around her, officers pressed buttons and checked screens. The bridge was quiet except for the soft hum of engines. All ships report ready, said Commander Daeho Ryu, the communication officer. Admiral Cho nodded. Begin the launch sequence. Across human space, 900,000 ships powered up their engines. The ships floated near planets, in asteroid fields, and in empty space between stars. No alien had ever seen so many ships launch at once. Captain Jaemin Yoon gripped his chair as his ship Gangnam's Pride prepared to move. His crew had trained for this moment for 20 years. Now it was happening. All systems green, reported his engineer. Engines ready. Open a channel to all ships, Admiral Cho commanded. On screens throughout the fleet, her face appeared. Every human soldier, worker, and officer could see her. Today, we show the galaxy who we really are, she said. For 25 years, they called us primitive. They kept us in one corner of space. They thought we were weak. She paused, looking directly into the camera. They were wrong. On the planet New Seoul, Dr. Youngji-oh watched from a hidden base. Next to her, Colonel Isul Kim and her sister Captain Hana Kim prepared to launch with the second wave of ships. 3, 2, 1. Launch! Admiral Cho commanded. Suddenly, every human ship jumped to faster than light speed. The ships vanished from where they were. In seconds, they appeared throughout the galaxy. High Crystallarch Jelvar was meditating in his crystal tower on the Veltar homeworld. The crystal beings thought with their minds connected together. They felt each other's thoughts like waves in water. Suddenly, an alarm rang through the crystal city. The beautiful harmony the Veltar always felt was broken. Fear crashed through their thoughts like a tsunami. "What is happening?" Gelvar asked. His assistants. "Ships," one crystal being whispered. "So many ships. They came from nowhere." On the viewing screens, Gelvar saw human warships appear near Veltar space. The ships were dark and dangerous looking. There were thousands of them. More appeared every second. "Impossible," Gelvar said. "Humans only have trading ships, small ones." But he was wrong. These ships were huge. They had massive weapons. Their hulls were thick with armor. These were not trading ships. These were warships built for battle. The Nexi Queen felt something she had never felt before: chaos in the hive mind. Her billion children always thought together as one, but now individual drones were feeling something new. Fear. "Queen, Mother," a drone reported. "Human ships, many thousands. They surround our core worlds." The Queen's massive brain tried to process this information. Humans were supposed to be weak. They were supposed to stay near Earth. They were supposed to obey Federation rules. "How many ships?" she asked. Still counting, Queen Mother. "More than 100,000 so far." The Queen's mind reeled. 100,000 ships? The entire Nexi fleet was only 50,000 ships, and human ships looked newer, faster, more deadly. For the first time in 1,000 years, individual Nexi drones began thinking thoughts not shared by the hive. Thoughts of human ferocity. Thoughts of human persistence. Thoughts of what these new ships might do. The Eternals had been machines for millions of years. They had seen galaxies rise and fall. They thought they had seen everything. They were wrong. Eternal Unit Prime calculated frantically in its quantum brain. The numbers didn't make sense. Humans had gone from one world to controlling 300 systems. From no military to the largest fleet in galactic history. Rate of change exceeds all parameters, Unit Prime broadcast to other Eternals. Human development curve impossible. Another Eternal unit replied, "Recommend immediate defensive protocols." But Unit Prime calculated something else. The human ships were spreading too fast. They were appearing everywhere at once. The Eternals couldn't defend everywhere. For the first time in their long existence, the Eternals felt something like panic. Lieutenant Commander Wu Jinbei commanded a destroyer group that appeared near a Federation trade station. The aliens at the station were crystal beings from the Veltar Empire. "This is Lieutenant Commander Bei," he broadcast to the station. "Do not be alarmed. We mean no harm." But the aliens were already alarmed. They had never seen human warships before. The ships were covered in weapons, they had thick shields, they looked built for war. The station commander, a crystal being named Thelmar, responded with a shaking voice. Why are there so many of you?" Wu Jin smiled, though the alien couldn't see his face. "We're just visiting." Major Sunho Jiang appeared near a Nexi observation post with his squadron. The bug-like aliens inside were clicking and chattering in panic. "Nexi post," he transmitted. "This is Major Jiang of the human fleet. Please remain calm." But the Nexi couldn't remain calm. Their sensors showed human ships everywhere, thousands of them, all armed, all powerful. One drone transmitted back, "Where did you come from? There were no human ships here yesterday." "We've been preparing," Major Jiang replied. "For 25 years. Captain Yunju Song's ship appeared right in the middle of a Federation council meeting. The alien leaders were discussing the human problem when 9 human dreadnoughts suddenly surrounded their space station. The alien leaders fell silent. Through the meeting room's windows, they could see the massive human ships. Each ship was twice the size of their biggest warship. "Council members," Captain Song transmitted. "My name is Captain Song. I believe you were discussing humans." No one answered at first. The Veltar Council Chief finally spoke. How many ships do you have?" "Right now?" "About 900,000, Captain Song replied casually. "Give or take a few hundred." The council chamber erupted in panic. Crystal beings flickered with fear. Nexi drones buzzed frantically. Even the ancient Eternals calculated furiously. On Earth, President Daeho Ryu prepared to address the galaxy. Communication arrays across the planet powered up. The message would reach every alien world simultaneously. "My fellow beings of the galaxy," he began. His voice was calm but firm. "For 25 years you have known us as the humans from Earth. You have called us primitive. You have limited our growth. You have told us what we can and cannot do." He paused. Today, that changes. Throughout the galaxy, alien leaders watched their screens. Human warships surrounded their worlds. Human weapons pointed at their cities. Human voices spoke with new authority. "We are not asking for permission anymore," President Ryu continued. "We are not children to be managed. We are a species that survived on a dangerous world. We are builders. We are fighters. We are humans." "Admiral," Cho added from her flagship, "we have no desire to conquer, but we will no longer be caged." The message ended. The galaxy fell silent. On Veltar crystal worlds, beings huddled in their towers. Nexi drones obeyed their queen's order to be still. Eternal shut down non-essential systems to think. The galaxy had never been this quiet. Not in a million years. 900,000 human ships waited in the silence. Their weapons cold but ready. Their shields strong. Their crews patient. The age of human limitation was over. The age of galactic respect had begun, and it all started with fear. Major Sun Ho-jang put on his spacesuit. His team was going to board an alien station. They had surrounded it with 3 human destroyers. The station was small and old, used by the Federation to watch human space. "Remember, we're not here to hurt anyone," he told his squad. "We just want them to understand." The squad moved through the airlock connecting their ship to the alien station. Inside, the lights were dim. The air smelled strange, like metal and old plants. 3 alien beings waited for them in the main room. They were crystal people called Veltar. Their bodies were see-through and shiny. Usually, Veltar were proud and calm. Today, they were shaking. "Please," one of them whispered. "We surrender. Don't hurt us." Major Jang was surprised. He took off his helmet. "We're not here to hurt you. We want to talk." The aliens couldn't believe it. For weeks they had watched human ships appear everywhere. Big ships, dangerous ships, ships with weapons that could destroy worlds. "You have so many ships," the station chief said. His crystal body flickered with fear light. "How did you build so many?" "We worked hard," Major Jang replied. "For 25 years. Dr. Youngjio sat in her laboratory on the human ship New Busan. Around her, screens showed alien messages from across the galaxy. She was trying to understand how aliens were reacting to the human fleet. "Computer, show me Veltar communications," she said. Text appeared on the screen. Dr. O translated the crystal language into human words. What she read surprised her. "The humans are demons," one message said. "They appeared from nothing. They have weapons beyond counting." Another message read, "Hide the children. The war beings from Earth come." "War beings," Dr. O laughed. "We never fired a shot." She switched to Nexi communications. The bug-like aliens were even more frightened. "Queen Mother commands all to remain still," said one message. "The humans watch everything." "Brother drones report human ships in 70 systems," said another. "They move like ghosts. They appear without warning." Dr. O found something interesting. For the first time in Nexi history, individual drones were sending private messages to each other. The hive mind was breaking down because of fear. She checked eternal communications. These machine beings had lived for millions of years. They had seen everything, or so they thought. Calculation error. One eternal broadcast. Human expansion rate impossible. All predictive models failed. Another replied. Recommend immediate data gathering protocols. But when Dr. O looked closer, she found something strange. Many eternal units were simply shutting down. They couldn't process what they were seeing, so they stopped trying. "Interesting," she said to herself. "The galaxy isn't fighting back, they're hiding." Commander Hyunwoo Nam led a patrol of 10 ships near the border of Nexi space. His sensors picked up movement ahead. Sir, his scanner. Officer reported Nexi fleet approaching. 50 ships. Commander Nam expected a fight. 50 Nexi warships could be dangerous. But as the alien ships got closer, something strange happened. The Nexi ships slowed down. Then they stopped. Then, one by one, they turned around and flew away. Sir, the officer said, confused. They're retreating. We didn't even target them. Commander Nam opened communications. Nexi ships, why are you leaving? A shaky voice replied. We do not wish to disturb you humans. We return home. The alien ships disappeared into faster-than-light travel. The human patrol was left alone in empty space. Commander Nam shook his head. Report to Fleet Command. Nexi forces retreating without engagement. Captain Yoonju Song received an interesting message while orbiting a Veltar research station. The aliens wanted to meet with her. Not to fight, not to negotiate, they wanted to learn. She took a shuttle to the station with 2 guards. The Veltar scientists met her in a large crystal room. The walls glowed with soft light. Captain Song, their leader said, bowing low, we are honored by your visit. What do you want? She asked. To understand, the scientist replied. Your ships are magnificent. Your weapons are beyond our comprehension. Your coordination is perfect. How did you become so powerful, Captain? Song sat down. The aliens sat too, their crystal bodies tinkling like wind chimes. We learned from you, she said. Every gift you gave us, we studied, we made it better. But the speed of your progress, another scientist said. It should have taken thousands of years. Humans don't live thousands of years, Captain Song replied. We had to work faster. The aliens looked at each other. In their crystal language, they whispered things like dangerous and unpredictable. Are you here to conquer us? The leader asked. Captain Song smiled. If we wanted to conquer you, would we be talking? Lieutenant Colonel Woojin Bei was exploring an abandoned Federation outpost. The aliens had left in a hurry. Food was still on the tables. Computers were still running. Sir, his sergeant said, look at this. On a computer screen, evacuation orders were displayed. The orders were sent hours after the human fleet appeared. All non-essential personnel evacuate immediately, the orders read. Maintain minimal staff only. Avoid contact with human forces. They didn't even try to fight, the sergeant observed. Would you? Woojin asked. If suddenly 900,000 alien warships appeared around Earth, would you fight? The sergeant thought about it. No, sir. I'd probably run too. They found more evidence in the outpost. Maps showing alien fleet movements. All the fleets were moving away from human space. Not to defensive positions. Not to gather for battle. Away. Send this to intelligence, Woojin ordered. They'll want to see this. In the capital ship Seoul's Hammer, Admiral Howin Cho met with her senior staff. On the big screen, they watched reports from across the galaxy. Casualties? She asked. 0, reported Colonel Isil Kim. No human ships damaged. No alien ships damaged. No weapons fired on either side. What about alien responses? Dr. Youngji. Oh stood up. All major alien fleets are retreating to their home systems. Trade has stopped completely. Some species are sending gifts. Gifts? Admiral Cho was surprised. Rare metals, artifacts, technology, Dr. O explained. They seem to think we might leave them alone if they pay us. Captain Jaemin Yoon added. Several alien colonies have simply been abandoned. They left when our ships appeared nearby. Admiral Cho sat back in her chair. This isn't what we expected. What did we expect? Asked Commander Seok-min Park. Resistance, negotiations, demands that we return to Earth, Admiral Cho replied. Not this. This is fear, Dr. O said. Pure, simple fear. The galaxy has been peaceful for so long, they've forgotten how to handle a military threat. We're not threatening them, several officers said at once. Our existence threatens them, Dr. O explained. 900,000 warships appearing from nowhere, ships more advanced than theirs. A species they thought was weak, proving they were wrong. To them were like nightmares made real. On the screen, more reports came in. Alien governments were passing new laws about respecting human space. Some species were building monuments to honor human strength and wisdom. "Sir," a communications officer announced, "Message from Earth. President Ryu wants to address the galaxy again." "Put him through," Admiral Cho ordered. President Ryu appeared on screen. Behind him, Earth looked peaceful and blue. "People of the galaxy," he began. "We hear your fear. We see your retreat. This was never our intention." He paused. "We built a fleet not to conquer, but to earn respect. We armed ourselves not to attack, but to defend. We grew strong not to rule, but to be equals." The galaxy listened. On crystal worlds, bug hives, and machine cities, aliens watched and waited. "Fear is a teacher," President Ryu continued. "Today, the galaxy learned that humans are not weak. Tomorrow, let it learn that humans can be friends." The message ended. The galaxy remained silent, but perhaps in that silence was the beginning of understanding. 900,000 human ships waited patiently among the stars. They had proven their strength. Now it was time to prove their wisdom. 3 months had passed since the great launch. Lieutenant Commander Wu Jinbei stood in the peace talks room on the Federation capital world. Across from him sat 5 alien beings. Each one represented a different species. The Crystal Veltar. Delegate was called Shinmar. The bug-like Nexi sent a special drone named Clicktel. The machine Eternal was Unit 7. 2 other aliens from smaller species completed the group. All of them looked nervous. "Let us begin," Wu Jin said. He had learned their languages during the long journey here. "You called this meeting. What do you want?" Shinmar spoke first. His crystal body glowed with worried light. "Commander Bei, we must ask. What are your demands?" Wu Jin was confused. "Demands? We haven't made any demands." "But surely," Clicktel buzzed, "with such a powerful fleet you want something. Territory? Resources? Slaves?" "We don't want slaves," Wu Jin replied, shocked. "We don't want to rule you." Unit 7's mechanical voice joined in. "Analysis shows your fleet could conquer the galaxy in 1 year. Query, what is your purpose?" Wu Jin sat back in his chair. These beings still didn't understand. "We want respect," he said simply. "We want to be treated as equals. We want the same rights as other species." The aliens looked at each other. They whispered in their languages. Finally, Shinmar spoke again. "You could take anything you want," he said. "Why ask for something so small?" "Because that's what humans are," Wu Jin explained. "We could destroy you, but we'd rather be friends." Fleet Admiral Hawin Cho received a message from Earth while orbiting the eternal homeworld. President Ryu appeared on her screen, smiling. "Admiral," he said, "the Federation Council has agreed to an official meeting. They want to discuss our new status." Cho nodded. "Where and when?" "Their capital world in 1 week. They're asking you to bring only a small escort." Admiral Cho almost laughed. "A small escort? How small?" "They suggested 50 ships. 50 ships?" She did laugh now. "Our light patrols have more ships than that." She looked at the 50,000 human warships around her. The eternal homeworld below was silent. No ships had launched, no defenses had activated. The ancient machines were simply watching and waiting. "Very well," she said. "I'll bring 50 ships, but the rest of the fleet stays where it is." President Ryu nodded. "The galaxy needs time to adjust, Admiral. They've never seen anything like us before." Dr. Subin Han, a historian, was documenting everything for future humans. She interviewed aliens when she could. Most were too scared to talk, but some were curious about humans. She sat with a young Veltar scientist named Pithclay on a neutral trade station. "Why do you want to understand us?" Dr. Han asked. Pithclay's crystal body flickered with thought patterns. "Your species is impossible. You built 900,000 warships in secret. You improved our technology beyond our abilities. You coordinate perfectly without a hive mind. Is that so strange? Very strange, Pithcli replied. The Eternal have ruled technology for millions of years. The Nexi have perfect unity. We Veltar have mental powers. What makes humans special? Dr. Hahn thought about it. Maybe it's because we're different. Each human thinks differently. We argue, we fight, we disagree. But when we need to, we can work together. Chaos that becomes order, Pithcli said with wonder. How fascinating. The Federation Council met on the capital World Centralis. Admiral Cho arrived with her 50 ships. Even 50 human warships made the aliens nervous. The ships hung in space like dark metal moons. The council chamber was huge. Representatives from hundreds of species sat in circles around a central platform. When Admiral Cho walked in, the room fell silent. She carried no weapons. She brought only 2 guards, but her uniform was covered in medals. Each medal represented a battle humans had fought on Earth before meeting the aliens. High Counselor Velthur, the oldest Veltar, spoke first. Admiral Cho, welcome to our capital. Thank you, she replied. I understand you want to discuss our status in the galaxy. Your fleet has changed things, Velthur said carefully. The old agreements are no longer sufficient. Nexi Queen's speaker clicked her mandibles. Through her translator, she said, The Queen wishes to know your intentions. Will you attack our worlds? We have no plans to attack anyone, Admiral, Cho replied. Unless attacked first. A small Eternal unit spoke next. Your capabilities exceed our calculations. Request, state your requirements. Admiral Cho walked to the center of the chamber. Around her, hundreds of alien eyes watched. Some were afraid, some were curious. All were respectful. 25 years ago, you welcomed us to the galaxy, she began. You called us friends. But you treated us like children. You said we were too primitive to be equals. She paused, looking around the room. We accept that you were trying to protect us, but we didn't need protection. We needed respect. The chamber remained quiet. Humans want 3 things, she continued. First, equal status in the Federation Council. We want a voice in galactic decisions. Granted, Velthur said quickly. Second, full access to galactic trade and travel. No more restricted areas where humans cannot go. Also granted, the Queen's speaker clicked. Third, the right to self-defense. If someone threatens human worlds, we respond as we see fit. The Eternal unit calculated quickly. Agreed, but if humans attack unprovoked? Then the galaxy may judge us, Admiral Cho replied. We accept galactic law, but we will not be victims. The council voted. Every representative agreed. Humanity was now an equal member of the Galactic Federation. Months passed. Captain Dongwon. Lee commanded a patrol ship on the edge of human space. His sensors detected incoming ships, a small Veltar trade fleet. Human ship, came a nervous transmission. We request permission to pass through your space. Permission granted, Dongwon replied. Safe travels. Thank you, the Veltar captain said, relief clear in his voice. We have gifts if you wish them. Gifts aren't necessary, Dongwon said kindly. But we appreciate the thought. After the alien ships left, his second officer asked, Do they always sound so scared? They'll get used to us, Dongwon replied. Eventually, Dr. Youngjio published her research on alien psychology 6 months after the Great Launch. She called it The Great Silence, How Fear Changed the Galaxy. In her report she wrote, The galaxy has entered a new age. Humans proved that assumptions about primitive species can be dangerous. The aliens' patronizing attitude created the very threat they feared. She documented how different species were adapting. Some Nexi drones were developing individual thoughts. Young Veltar were studying human military tactics. Even the ancient Eternals were upgrading their systems. Fear was the teacher, she concluded, but adaptation is the student's choice. President Ryu gave his final speech about the launch 1 year later. Behind him, Earth looked the same as always, blue and green and beautiful. The galaxy learned several things this year, he said. They learned that humans are strong. They learned that underestimating others is dangerous. They learned that different doesn't mean inferior. He smiled. But perhaps most importantly, they learned that humanity seeks partnership, not dominance. We built those ships not to conquer, but to earn our place. Now, we have that place. The speech was broadcast to every world in the galaxy. On Veltar, Crystal City's aliens watched with growing respect. In Nexi hives, drones buzzed with curiosity. In eternal databanks, machines calculated new possibilities. 900,000 human ships still patrolled galactic space, but now they were seen as protectors, not threats. Trading ships traveled safely under human escort. Border systems felt secure with human patrols nearby. Commander Seok Min Park, now promoted to admiral, stood on the bridge of his new flagship. Through the windows, he watched alien and human ships working together. The galaxy was no longer silent. It hummed with new activity, new partnerships, new possibilities. And at the heart of it all, humanity had found its place among the stars, not as conquerors, not as servants, but as equals. The great silence was over. The age of cooperation had begun, and it all started with 900,000 ships and the courage to use them wisely.